Hello everybody and welcome back to Random Vids. So, what is the newest Mario game out? DK Bonanza. Well, yeah, that's Donkey Kong game. I mean the actual newest Mario game out. Well, Mario Kart World. Finally, a brand new Mario Kart after 11 years. Well, 7, if you don't count. If you kind of count Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I guess it does count. But, I mean a brand new Mario Kart. And it's been 11 years since Mario Kart 8, so glad we finally have a brand new Mario Kart, even if it's arguably not as good as the previous one. Not now, at least. Not at the launch, I should say. Maybe if they add more DLC and whatnot, that'll be better. Anyway, without further ado, there's obviously still a few different videos that I do want to do with the, with Mario Kart World. One of the things that I haven't done yet is rank every single cup in Mario Kart World from worst to best. Now, yeah, this is before any DLC or anything, so who knows what could be added in the future. But for now, I'm going to talk about the 8 standard cups and rank them all from worst to best. There's definitely some bad cups and there's definitely some good cups. So, with that out of the way, let's get started with number 8 and my least favorite cup in Mario Kart World, and that is easily the Shell Cup. Honestly, this cup is so bad, I don't think any other cups even come close. Not even my 7th spot. Okay, when I mean so bad, I don't mean this is the absolute worst cup to ever exist. Well, I don't know. This cup definitely has some pretty iffy choices. I don't know. The Shell Cup has always suffered for having some of the more blandest tracks. However, this is the first time that the Shell Cup isn't referencing retro tracks. I mean, yeah, there is Koopa Troopa Beach, as we know, but every Mario Kart game since this was all retro tracks. So normally that meant the start of the retro tracks in a way, kind of get some of the more maybe boringer ones, but in a way to kind of get you to practice in a way. I mean, Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 7 do have good Shell Cups in my opinion. Heck, Mario Kart 7 is probably my favorite Shell Cup at this point. Because it does really have a lot of bangers in it. But once Mario Kart World came around, they just split up retro tracks and nitro tracks, and that's something I still don't like. It's something I could easily do myself, like, just switch everything from the Flower Cup and the Banana Cup and Shell Cup or whatever, and there you go. Like, move some of those tracks down there. I don't understand why, it's all the retro tracks are all over the place, and why the Special Cup is all the way at the very bottom. Yeah. Like I said, there's many problems with this game, but I think the main thing is the fact that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sets such a high bar, so it's giving Mario Kart World a run for its money. Even if you don't like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or think we've stuck around with it too long, because I definitely do know that there's people like that. But think of it this way. Don't think of it as, oh, we were stuck with it for too long, boo-hoo. Think of it as, well, look at what Nintendo did to that game to really, make it stand out opposed to the others. And Mario Kart World, I mean, it stands out, but it also still doesn't hit the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bar. Anyway, back to the Shell Cup. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of really most of these tracks in the Shell Cup. Koopa Beach 2, it's just a circle, and we should have gotten Koopa Beach 1. Fairway Oasis is kind of a boring track, honestly. They should have added a lot more animals to what could... Like, this is one of those, I'd say, very missed potential type of tracks in a way. They could have added so many, like, animals and stuff around, but it's more in a way exploring the safari in a way in a desert. I don't know, it's just kind of boring. And then you have another Crown City, which is weird because we played on Crown City before, so why are we playing it again? Although I would say, okay, never mind, I'll come back to that in a minute. And then we have Peach Stadium, which is just a square. It's I don't know what they were trying to do with the Shell Cup. Maybe they were trying to fit the last minute ideas into the Shell Cup. I don't know. For starters, let's look at Koopa Troopa Beach. Koopa Troopa Beach? It's called Koopa Beach 2, Nintendo. You can't fool it. I don't know why they changed it. Why did they change the name? Like, why does Nintendo have to do stupid things like this? Anyway, Koopa Troopa Beach. It's Koopa Beach 2. I mean, it looks nice. The music is very bland, but, I mean, there's that. Now, I will say, I do like Crown City, and in my opinion, Crown City is my favorite track in the Shell Cup. Just because the fact that it's actually cool, it's actually fun. Like, you're not driving around a circle, you're not driving in a missed potential track, you're not driving in a square either. This cup, I swear, is all about shapes. Sure, whatever. Well, At least Crown City, you get to drive through a portion of Crown City, but at night, as well as drive through some of the beach of Crown City, too. So that's cool and all. So that's definitely my favorite track, I'd say, of this cup. The worst, Koopa Troopa Beach. This is missed potential. Why did they add Koopa Beach 2 and not Koopa Beach 1, huh? I know, it's been a while since Mario Kart DS, but Koopa Beach 1's the one that never came back. You see, I think the main reason why I complain about a lot of this stuff is the fact that we had to wait 11 years for this. I don't think this was 11 years worth the wait. Okay, in some aspects it definitely is. There was a lot of fun things about this game, but on the other hand, it's like, man, Nintendo. Like, this is the way you're going to treat your new Mario Kart? Anyway, yeah, there's like so many missed potential things. Like, I love what they're doing, but they're just missing the target, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Peach Stadium and Crown City are the only two tracks that have two variants, and they take over tracks for some reason. Well, why did you do that? They could have just, you know, put Crown City and Peach Stadium together into one big giant track. Make it how like the city tracks were in Mario Kart Tour and Mario Kart 8, where you drive in a certain section. I don't mind Crown City as much because it is a big track, but Peach Stadium is so small, they could have easily fit both of those laps into, you know, one big giant track, and then they could have found a brand new track to put in the Special Cup instead of Peach Stadium all over again. Now, originally, when I ranked all the tracks, I put this Peach Stadium ahead of the other one just because I thought that, you know, the subway was really cool and all. But honestly, now, after a while has gone by, I like the other version better because this is just a big square. It's so stupid. Like, it honestly works better as a battle track, and it doesn't even work good as a battle track because it's so large. Nintendo. Well, anyway, yeah, this cup is full of pretty mediocre tracks. The best would, like I said, have to be Crown City, and that's a copy and paste one. That's sad. Like, it took you 11 years to create a shell cup. It should not be this pathetic. Come on, Nintendo. Whatever. It's the shell cup. It's easily, in my opinion, the worst cup in Mario Kart World. No other cups even come close to this cup. This cup is just, yeah, it's trash. It's garbage. It's pathetic. It's lazy. Like I said, this is before any DLC, but whatever. Shell Cup is still the worst. With that, let's move to number 7, which is the Lightning Cup. Oh, hey, Bowser's Castle. What are you doing in the Lightning Cup? Now, yeah, we've had Bowser's Castles before in the Lightning Cup, but that was stuff like Mario Kart Wii, where they brung back Bowser's Castle. No, this is the brand new Bowser's Castle. Okay. For starters, just looking at the track selection, I mean, not all of the tracks, but most of them are definitely better than the selections we got in the Shell Cup. Now, I know, so we start off with Moo Moo Meadows. Okay, when we meant bring back tracks from Mario Kart 8, I don't think we meant the retro tracks, Nintendo. I think we meant stuff like Swamp Ruins, or Water Park, Shy Guy Falls, Electrodrome, Cloud Top Cruise. There's so many great networks. Heck, do the DLC, like Super Bell Subway, for example. But Moo Moo Meadows, again, yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about Moo Moo Meadows. I like the track, but honestly, I prefer it in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Because, just because I just like the way it is better in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, honestly. It's just a track that has been... I think they brung it back too early. They just brought it back in Mario Kart 8, and it's already, you know, good graphics. I don't know why we're getting it back again. And then there's got to be the absolute stupidest choice of all time. Shoko's Mountain. Really? Shoko Mountain. Nintendo! What is wrong with you? It took you 11 years just to bring back Shoko Mountain again. Seriously? I don't even call it Shoko Mountain anymore. It's just Shoko Stadium at this point. This track is nothing like the original, and I mean nothing. There's a few parts of the track here and there that kind of are like Shoko Mountain, I guess, but it's honestly not even a retro track at this point. It's a brand new track. It's Shoko Stadium. That's the thing. I think Nintendo tried... Well, I don't think they really tried at all thinking of like retro tracks they should bring back. There's only 4 tracks that have never come back before. That's such a shame. And 2 of them are ones that have never been in Mario Kart Tour. I don't know what Nintendo was thinking when they did their retro track choices. Some of them are good, even ones that shouldn't have come back. and others are just like stupid. Like, really? This just came back in the booster course, so that's even sooner than Moo Moo Meadows. Why are we getting Choco Mountain again? And it's ugly in this version, honestly. It's just your typical stadium. Heck, we have other stadiums in this game. We don't need you guys to bring back Choco Mountain and turn it into a stadium. It's not even a retro track anymore. This is basically just a nitro track. Even as a nitro track, this is bland and boring. There's nothing really going on. It's just your typical boring state. It's like, look at it this way. It's like Wario Stadium for Mario Kart 8, but remove all the fun things from it. Make the song worse, and there you go. Choco Mountain. Yeah, that's another thing. The song sucks. The song is horrible in this game. It's not a song that I'm the really biggest fan of anyway, but I think they did a great job with it, good enough job with it in Mario Kart 8. So, why are we bringing this back again, huh? That track alone brings down the Lightning Cup. Then there's Toad's Factory. Okay, at least this track is really fun. I love Toad's Factory. So glad it got a remix. It looks so good. The only problem is you can only drive one lap on it, and that's a problem with all these tracks because of the stupid intermissions. So I'm not going to talk a lot about the intermissions because I know there's a lot of people who, I mean, it's a very controversial thing because some people don't mind it and most people hate them. I would say I don't mind them, but I want to have the option too. I don't want to have to drive from one track to the other. So, unfortunately, you can only drive on all these tracks one time, unless you do versus mode. And I heard Nintendo did an update where they tried to fix the online, sort of. So, I guess they are sort of listening to their fans, but come on, how much flack can you take before I don't know. Anyway, and then you have Bowser's Castle. It's an alright Bowser's Castle. It's definitely not my favorite. I just feel like it's a little more boring. Like, look at Mario Kart 8. Look at both the Bowser Castles in Mario Kart 8, honestly. The 8 version and the SNES version that they brought back. They went buck wild with those ones. This one, it's good, but it's not crazy or anything. I mean, there's a few sharp turns here and there. There's lava you can jump out of, okay. There's a big Bowser, as always. Man, that's about it. And the song sucks, once again. Yeah, this cup is easily the second worst. Without a doubt. Toad's Factory is the only really good track in this cup. That's the only one that I would say brings... If it wasn't for Toad's Factory, like, if they replaced it with something like Koopa Beach 2, or... I'm not calling it Koopa Troopa Beach, that's the N64 track. It's Koopa Beach 2. Or, like, Fairway Oasis, this would probably be the worst cup, honestly. I mean, it's better than the Shell Cup, but just because of Toad's Factory, and I guess Bowser Castle does... Moo Meadows ain't bad either. I just feel like, maybe they should have done another track. Choco Stadium, though, ruins this cup for sure, and that's a shame. Look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Lightning Cup. That was one of my absolute favorites when I ranked those cups. It had some of my all-time favorites. My favorite DS track, Tick Tock Clock. My favorite Mario Kart 7 track, Prime Plant Slide. One of my favorite Wii tracks, Grumble Volcano, and a decent Rainbow Road to finish it off. It's just a bunch of tracks thrown together, and they called it a day. They should have replaced Bowser's Castle with maybe a random retro track, just so, I can complain about the way they designed these tracks all day, or the way that they placed everything in all day, but we gotta keep moving. So with that, let's move on to number 6, which is the Banana Cup. I know, we're just getting rid of all the retro cups at this point. But unfortunately, I just feel like they added some of the more bland tracks in the retro cup selections. Well, I say retro track cups, but they're all mixed together. Okay, at least looking at this selection, you can already tell it's much better than the last two cups that we were seeing. So we started with Peach Beach. I mean, it's personally not one of my favorite tracks, and I was kind of upset they brought it back again. But after playing it, I don't mind it, and I think it is definitely the best version of Peach Beach, even if like the town section looks nothing like Peach Beach. But okay, I don't mind this remake. I actually do kind of like it. I like how you drive through town and stuff. There's better remakes though. Then you go to Salty Salty Speedway, which is an interesting track for sure. You can tell that this kind of has that Mario Kart Tour vibe to it in a way. After Mario Kart Tour, every Mario Kart game just has to have cities, which I don't mind because I do think the city tracks are criminally underrated in a way. Now this track is neat driving in the water and stuff. It almost seems like it almost seems like an Italy type of track in a way. And it is kind of cool and all. I mean, it's about an average track, I'd say. Then you go to Down and Down in Jungle. Oh no, and okay, this is definitely the better GameCube remake for sure, because they updated the heck out of Down and Down in Jungle, and it looks so good in this game. I love how it's like Jurassic Park at this point, and the dinosaurs actually look like dinosaurs. The changes they made to this track are really good, and it's miles better than the GameCube version, and a lot better than the 7 version too. So this is a retro track that I actually really do like, even if it has come back before. But because the updates that they did to this track are so great, and the fact that this track still feels very secluded and it doesn't get ruined by the intermissions, I think works perfectly. Because unlike, I'm trying to think of a good example here, but there's definitely certain tracks that because of the intermissions, like Peach Beach in a way, kind of ruins the tracks in a way, because they're not secluded anymore. They're now just all on this big map. Great Block Ruins is another great example of that, because of the fact that it's in the sky. And I said this before, but it really reminds me of Cloud Top Cruise and Thwomp Ruins put together. So, hey, 2 good Mario Kart 8 tracks. I mean, even if we didn't get a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe retro track in this game, at least we got Great Block Ruins. So, it's kind of like those tracks, and it's a really great track. It's a really good track for sure. Now, if I had to pick a favorite track, I'd probably pick Down and Down in Jungle, just because the remake is so nice. If I had to pick a least favorite, ooh, that's tough. Because, once again, there's not really any bad tracks in this cup. This is a very average cup, I'd say. It just doesn't stand out like some of the others. I'd say maybe Salty Speedway. I don't know. Between that or Peach Beach. Those two are very close. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's a lot better than the other 2 cups we talked about, but there's still definitely better cups out there. So, with that, let's move on to number 5, which is the Mushroom Cup. Well, here it is, the first cup you start off on, and it's usually probably one of the worst cups of the Nitro tracks. And, I mean, yeah, it is probably the worst track between this, Flower Star, and Special. But at the same time, it's not a bad cup, and there actually is some decent choices in here. So you start off with Mario Bros. Circuit. Yeah, it's your starter course, it is boring, but it isn't the worst thing ever. It's definitely not the worst thing in this game either. Right, Shoko Stadium? So at least this gives a good, like, start, in a way. It kind of gets you used to, like, the rail riding and the wall riding and stuff like that. So it does its job. Heck, it even does a good job of the gliding, because the gliding in this game is definitely different from Mario Kart 8. I remember struggling with it at first because it was so different. Also, I really do like the song from Mario Bros. Circuit. So even if the track is pretty boring, at least the song is really great. Speaking of good songs, go to Crown City next, but that song is also a bop. And this track is pretty cool too. It's definitely the best city track, I'd say. It's better than Salty Speedway, I think, at least, just because of the fact that it's bigger, and I think there's more to do and more to see there, whereas Salty Speedway is just kind of good, but that's about it for it. Now, I do think the second Crown City is a little bit better, just because of the fact that I like how it's at night and you go on the beach. For this one, you're kind of more above on the rooftops, which that's a lot of fun, too. So, this is another great track. This is a good track, I should say. Then you go to Whistletop Summit. And this track is just okay. It's not one of my absolute favorites. I do think it is a little bit small and kind of a little overrated, not gonna lie. The main thing about it, though, is the train. The train is kind of nice, and I do like the music a lot for Whistletop Summit. But, I don't know, I was just never really a huge fan of this track. And I won't lie, the train tracks do get a little annoying on this track, because when I don't want to, I'll be riding on the train track. It's like the time I don't want to, that's when I'm riding on the train track. Plus, besides the train, it is kind of more of a flatter track. But I guess Calamari Desert was kind of a flatter track too. I don't know. Whistletop Summit has never really been my absolute favorite track. I don't mind it. I do think it's a great idea and a decent track overall. It's just not one of my absolute favorites. And then, of course, DK Spaceport. This track is lots of fun. I love how it's basically the arcade machine DK game. It's so much fun. I've really grown to like the music a lot more too. Well, I've really grown to like the first section music a lot too for this track. So the Mushroom Cup, I mean, it sounds like it has, well, okay, Mushroom Cup definitely has some of the best songs, like in the game for sure. Some of these are definitely in the top 10, and it has decent tracks. So So I guess it's a decent start to the game, but it's nothing too crazy. I do think it's better than Banana Cup, though, because mainly the music alone and the fact that some tracks are actually really fun. Even if Marlboro Circuit's track, in a way, does kind of bring the Cup down, at least I don't feel like it's missed potential or stupid, like Shoko Stadium is, or even Koopa Beach 2. At least, like, it's like, well, it's a starter course. I mean, could they do more with it? Absolutely, but it's Nintendo. They're not going to. But the other, like, Crown City and DK Spaceport definitely really carried this cup for sure. And Wichita Summit ain't bad either. So, yeah, Mushroom Cup. It's on the lower side of the list, but it's not a bad cup. With that, let's move to number 4, which is the Flower Cup. Okay, this is the part of the list where it really starts getting hard for me to decide, what cups go where. Now, I do know what my favorite cup is, but these 3 that I haven't talked about yet definitely are really like, which one's better, which one isn't. So these cups can honestly be kind of interchangeable. Now, the Flower Cup is pretty cool and all. Normally, it's a Nitro Track Cup, but in this game, it's a Retro Track Cup. Fun. So, you start off with good old Desert Hills. It looks nothing like the DS Desert Hills. It takes kind of that, it takes a page from Shoko Stadium where it wants to completely redo itself. But unlike Shoko Stadium, at least this doesn't feel like I should call it something else like, I don't know, Desert Flat, or, I don't know, at least it's still hilly in a way. At least it still resembles a desert, and the music is at least good, too. Shoko Stadium, we don't talk about that track, or song. At least Desert Hills, and it wasn't one of those tracks that everyone necessarily loved either. So having it get a facelift isn't that bad of a thing. Now, the only problem is it really doesn't look anything like Desert Hills, so I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about it. It's a very hit or miss type of track. I do think it's probably the weakest of the Flower Cup. That's something I keep forgetting to do, my least favorite and favorites. So, real quick, for a Mushroom Cup, favorite, probably be DK Spaceport, and the worst is Marlboro Circuit. Anyway, it's fine. It's a good starter track, I guess, but that's about it I have to say for it. Next, Shy Guy Bazaar. I mean, I'm glad they did bring Shy Guy Bazaar back, and it's finally one that wasn't in, finally a retro track that hasn't been in a Mario Kart game before. So it's really nice seeing Shy Guy Bazaar return. It obviously looks a lot better in this game. It's really nice. It's actually, I think it's better in this version than it is in the 7 version, just because of the fact that it's a lot of fun. Now, unfortunately, I don't like how it's not night in this version. That's the only main thing. What is it with Nintendo and their Mario Kart tracks? First they had a problem with Sunset Wild in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where the sun didn't set. And we have the same problem here. The sun just never sets. I don't hate it. It's just something that, definitely kind of point out. Although, other than that, this track looks amazing now, and I really do enjoy it. I just wish that, we could actually drive on it for more than just one lap. Okay, Nintendo, you hear us? You hear every single Nintendo fan out there? Give us the option for intermissions. Okay? Okay, if it took you 11 years to decide if you want to do intermissions or not, I'm sure it isn't going to hurt you to take a month to figure out how to do no intermissions for Grand Prix. Please and thank you. Sincerely, every single Mario Kart fan out there. Next we have Wario Stadium, the only N64 track that never came back. So seeing it back in this Mario Kart is amazing, because now I can officially say I've played every single N64 track without actually touching the N64. Okay, except for that one battle track that unfortunately didn't come back in this game. Instead we got Big Donut again. Big whoop. Well, anyway, Wario Stadium is a pretty cool track and all. Now it is a little on the short side, but the original was a little on the long side. So what do you really go for? They have the same problem with, Rainbow Road. Now, would I like it to be a little longer? Yes. But is it fine the way it is? Yes. It also looks really great. Of course, has the iconic music, which is really good. I love the Raceway theme. So I'm fearing it one last time before they're never going to bring the N64 track back again, which is completely false, because the way Nintendo is now, they bring back tracks that have come back in Mario Kart 8's booster course, for crying out loud. Anyway, so seeing the last N64 track back is really great. So let's hope that maybe the next game they can finish up on is Double Dash and DS. Those two are so close to being finished as well. And I'd love to see them add the rest of the SNES and Game Boy tracks too, because those are really old and, ready for a refurb. And then, of course, Airship Fortress. Yeah, it came back in Mario Kart 7, so it isn't necessarily my pick. But at least the track, it looks really nice now. There's nothing really I have to complain about this track, because it's good old Airship Fortress. Like, they really gave it one heck of a glow up, and it looks so good in Mario Kart World. The music, of course, is really great as well. So, it's just overall a really great track. It's Airship Fortress, the track we all know and love from Mario Kart DS. Would I have rather them brung the 3 tracks back that never come back from Mario Kart DS? Yes. But is this track fun? Yes. Now, what would be my least favorite? Least favorite, I already said, was Desert Hills. My favorite? Ooh. Maybe Airship Fortress. Probably Airship Fortress, but I don't know. You see, Shy Guy Bazaar, Wario Stadium, and Airship Fortress are all 3 really, really good tracks. But maybe Airship Fortress is probably my favorite, just by a little bit. I don't know. This or Wario Stadium, it's really close. But Flower Cup's good, and it is so close to being number 3. Like, both of these cups could be basically interchangeable. But anyway, let's move on to number 3, which is the Star Cup. Woo boy. Like I said, this cup and Flower Cup can be very interchangeable. But, you know what? I think I'll put this one a little ahead. Anyway, this is definitely another interesting cup. It has 3 retro tracks and 1 nitro track in it. Okay. So we start off with DK Pass, another DS track that, I wasn't really fond of it returning, but after playing it, I won't mind. It is kind of fun, and it's, in my opinion, the best version of DK Pass. Even if they got rid of things like that mountain with the block, or the snowballs, or the snowmen. So yeah, they definitely, kind of got rid of a lot of things in this track, but they also expanded it in a way. Like, I love the scene after that iconic hill. Instead of it just being a boring, mountainy area that looks kind of dumb, now it's kind of like a neat ski slope area, and it looks so neat in this game. This is one of those tracks that I think really deserved the remake because of the fact that it looks a lot better. But I also wasn't really the biggest fan of DK Pass to begin with, so seeing it look just much better in this game is great. Heck, even the music isn't annoying anymore, which I do really appreciate them doing. It's like the complete opposite of Shoko Mountain. Sorry, Shoko Stadium. Then there's Starview Peak. The music in this track is pretty good. Although the track itself is just alright. It is kind of boring. After playing it now with a lot of the other tracks, this definitely isn't one of my favorite tracks, but it's fine for what it is. Then you have Sky High Sunday, the only Mario Kart Tour track to come back. Which, okay, very odd for sure. Why not, Piranha Plant Pipeline, the only track that never came back? But that can be a conversation for another time. Why didn't they bring Piranha Plant Pipeline back? Who knows? Well, anyway, we got Sky High Sunday instead. Shame. But at the same time, I liked Sky High Sunday from Mario Kart 8, so I don't mind seeing this one again, even if everyone else basically disagrees with me. But at the same time, you gotta appreciate the effort Nintendo went into putting into this track, because man, it definitely is much better than the Mario Kart 8 version, which I liked the Mario Kart 8 version, but the way this track is just even better yet. So it definitely got a big improvement. So if it was something like Shoko Stadium, where it A, shouldn't have come back, and B, they just completely, poo-pooed on the track, and made it even worse, then yeah, don't bring it back. But Sky High Sunday, should it have come back? No. But at least they really improved on the track. So I like the way that Sky High Sunday is, even if you can only race 1 lap on it. And then, of course, Wario's Shipyard. This is a very controversial track, I think, as well. And I do like that they brought it back, but unfortunately, because of the fact that you can't ride under the water anymore, it does kind of ruin parts of the track, I should say. And the fact that there's no anti-gravity either, so this would be a perfect track for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But we never got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You know what should have happened? We should have got, if they wanted to add that Mario Kart 7 track in the last wave of the booster cores, they should have added this track instead of Rosalina's Ice World, and leave Rosalina's Ice World for Mario Kart World. Although that's a very secluded track too, so that would be hard to fit into this game. Well, anyway, Wario Shipyard. I mean, I've grown to like it a little bit more after. I mean, I do like Wario Shipyard. Don't get me wrong. I just do think because you're riding on the water, it's not as weird anymore now. As you know, the game's been out for 2 months now. but it's just still something to note. Like, ooh, I do wish this was in Mario Kart 8 where you could ride, under the water. At least the graphics look really good, and the music is much better in this game than in Mario Kart 7. So, there's that. Now, I would say, once again, this is a good cup. There's just some funny things they did with certain things. But I'd say the best track... Ooh. Oh, that's hard. I'd say the best track, honestly, might be Sky High Sunday. That or DK Pass. Or even worst is probably Starview Peak. I don't know. But that's the thing. I can't really think of an amazing or a horrible track in this cup. So, once again, it's kind of in that middle territory, but also on the higher side for some of the, I guess, improvements or things they did. Well, anyway, this and the Flower Cup would both be interchangeable depending on the day. I think for now, Star Cup is a little better. There's only two cups left, so let's get to number 2, which is the Leaf Cup. Oh man, this is, in my opinion, easily the best out of the quote-unquote retro tracks. Or retro cups, I should say. And it's funny, because this cup has 0 retro tracks, when normally it has all retro tracks. You could have switched this cup out with the flower. Anyway, moving on. Looking at the track selections already, like, they all seem super cool. Like, they're better than some of those, boring pictures we got from, like, the Shell Cup and whatnot, and even Lightning Cup. Well, anyway, we start off with Cheep Cheep Falls, which, this has got to be one of the best Cheep Cheep themed tracks of all time. I think it works really well with the driving on the water thing. Like, this is definitely the best track for that, I would say, because of the fact that it A, didn't ruin one of the retro tracks, and B, it works. Like, it actually is really fun riding on the water in this track. And I don't know, the track layout itself is really cool. Ever since, Ninja Hideaway from Mario Kart Tour, I feel like every Mario Kart game at this point is just adding all these ninja-themed tracks, and Cheep Cheep Falls is the one for Mario Kart World, and it's miles better than Ninja Hideaway. It actually is a fun track. Even if there's less things going on, honestly, like they always say, bigger isn't always better. And the music is miles better, too. Then there's Dandelion Depths. I heard someone say before that this is kind of like the Wooded Kingdom, in a way, but just as a marker track. And after hearing that, I completely agree. This is literally the Wooded Kingdom from Mario Odyssey, but as a marker track. The only problem is it's kind of boring. Like, there's certain parts of the track that don't really do much to kind of wow me. It almost feels like a better Fairway Oasis in a way. Because I do really like that underground portion of the cave. The music, of course, is great as well. But I feel like, once again, kind of missed potential. They could have actually made it feel even more like the Wooded Kingdom and maybe add a few more things to it. Add more dandelions instead of just in the big cave section. Because the big cave section is actually lots of fun. But other than that, the rest of the track is just okay. Then you have Boo Cinema. Oh, come on. This has got to be one of the greatest marker tracks of all time. Definitely one of the top 15, I'd say. This track is so cool. Even if it is kind of like a funny... If you kind of look at the mini-map, the map design is basically just a figure 8. But this has got to be the best way that you could do a figure 8 type of track. It's just such a cool, interesting, unique track. Boo has his own cinema, and you can drive right through the screen. Oh man, this track is so cool. It's so awesome. Like, what did I say? You're driving through the films, you're driving through the cinema. It's just such a neat track. And it's definitely one of the best. It's probably, honestly, the best ghost-themed style track of any Mario Kart game, which is really cool. You also gotta love how all 3 of the original SNES Ghost Valleys are all outside of the theater as well. So it's kind of like if they put the original Ghost-themed tracks there and then the newest one. Oldest and newest. Gotta love it. And speaking of gotta love, you gotta love that music too. It is so awesome. It's easily one of the best songs in Mario Kart World. So, there's that. And then, of course, Dry Bones Burnout. You gotta love a track featuring Dry Bones, a criminally underrated character. Never mind, not underrated. Not underrated, but just maybe underused, I'd say. So, I'm glad he's starting to get more recognition as the years go on. Thank God for that. Kick out Waluigi, bring in Dry Bones. Anyway, moving on. I feel like a lot of people wasn't the biggest fan of Bone Dry Dunes in Mario Kart 8, so they figured, alright, well, let's actually make a track that everyone will love. And, I mean, they didn't lie. This is definitely a track that I feel like everyone loves. And honestly, this track almost feels like the Bowser's Castle in a way, because it has more of a feeling than the actual Bowser's Castle does. So yeah, this is definitely better than the Bowser Castle we did actually end up getting, which is so funny to say. Well, anyway, this track once again is just a lot of fun to drive on, as well as the song is really great as well. I love the tune. I love the instruments they used. It's just such a fun track overall. Like, what else need I say that hasn't been said already? Worst track in the Leaf Cup was definitely Dandelion Depths, I'd say. The best is probably Boost Cinema, I'd say, because that one is just spectacular. And a lot of the tracks in this cup are just so spectacular, which is why it's easily my second favorite cup in the series. Although I think there's one cup that's a little bit better than the Leaf Cup. I mean, it's kind of close. Leaf Cup definitely did put the last cup for a run for its money, but I think there's one cup I like a little better. So with that, let's get to my favorite cup from Mario Kart World, and that would be the Special Cup. Man, talk about a really great cup to end this game. Now, it's obviously very weird that this is not after the Star Cup, it's after the Lightning Cup. Typical Mario Kart World problems that need fixed. Well, anyway, that little nitpick aside, the tracks in this cup are actually really fun. You start with Acorn Heights, which is your usual forest level. Some might argue Dandelion Depths is. It's Acorn Heights. And honestly, it's not really I guess it is forest. It's really basically just wild woods from Mario Kart 8. That's the thing. They didn't want to bring back any Nitro tracks back from Mario Kart 8. Instead, they wanted to make brand new tracks that references them. Like first Block City or whatever that one is, Great Block Ruins, and now Acorn Heights. It's literally just wild woods, but hey, I'm not complaining. Even the music sounds similar. But I don't know which track's better yet, because both definitely are really fun. But wow, a great way to start the Special Cup already. Then you go to Mario Circuit, which is a compilation of 3 different Mario Circuits put into one. Okay, honestly, this is kind of the best way that you could do the Mario Circuits. Put Mario Circuit 1, 2, and 3 together and put it into one giant track. That's the best way to do it, because then it makes for basically just one big giant track. Now here's the question that, we're all asking. Where's Mario Circuit 4? That's the only Mario Circuit they never brung back or redid, unless you count the GBA one. But that one only semi-counts. But we want it in Mario Kart World. Like, we want that track to be remade. Because, besides Bowser Castle 3 in, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, no other SNES course is allowed to get a good remake. Well, and of course Rainbow Road, but whatever. I mean, look at the way they do the GBA tracks, but SNES, keep them boring. So I guess if they want to keep them boring, then they're going to have to do something like this. Just group the numbered tracks together and call it a day. But honestly, it works, and I'm kind of glad that they did this. It'd be nice if they did that for, the other genre tracks. Maybe when they get DLC, maybe we'll get like Donut Plain. I mean, we already have both Shoko Islands. Do that, or all 3 of the Ghost Valleys. We already have that. Just turn them into official tracks and make some new music, and there you go. Speaking of which, the new music for Mario Circuit is amazing. Easily, probably the best, if not the second best, remix to this song. I do really like the GBA version, but this is given a run for its money for sure. Then you go to Peach Stadium. It's the other Peach Stadium because, we're only allowed 30 tracks in this game instead of 32 because Nintendo wants so many controversial things from this Mario Kart. Anyway, it's a good track. I just think it's kind of like, why are we racing on it again when we already did? I do like this version better, though, just because of the fact that you're elevated above the castle, which really reminds me of Mario Stadium from Mario Kart 8. And here we go again with another track that's telling us, ha ha ha, no Nitro tracks from Mario Kart 8 are coming back, but we can give little references. I do like the music to Peach Stadium. I think this track is good, but I don't know. Then, of course, we end off with Rainbow Road. This track alone makes Special Cup the best cup in Mario Kart 8. Probably because of the fact that you can't play Rainbow Road in the free roam, so you have to play it in like Time Trial Versus or Grand Prix. And man, let me say, this Rainbow Road is easily one of the best Rainbow Roads of all time. Give me this any day over the Mario Kart 7 version. I'm tired of that overrated crap. man, they did, besides the track being easy, I don't care. Because, man, this track is so good. It's like a big celebration to, the whole game in a way. Although it would be an even bigger celebration if the game was even better yet. Maybe it will during DLC. Well, anyway, this Rainbow Road is spectacular. And I love how, when you drive to it from Peach Stadium, the focus isn't on the intermissions. Thank God for that. It's actually on the track itself. And it's a one big giant track, so you can actually experience and, kind of take in the track and not just kind of take it for granted and be like, well, that was something. Now you can actually race on basically like 3 or 4 laps on this Rainbow Road, which is great. And all the sections are great too. The starting section where you're going on the winding roads. No, not the winding. It's not the winding roads. The winding roads are later. You're driving through these clouds and stuff, and then you're going to this neat water area where then the song changes and the opera kicks in. Oh, it's chills every time I hear that. Like, seriously, it's just, I might be recency biased, but I don't know. I really love this Rainbow Road song so much. It's definitely one of the absolute best Rainbow Road songs of all time. It's just so, I don't know. It's so breathtaking, I guess. And then you have the third section, which is the space station area. Then you have a section that reminds me of Mario Galaxy in a way. And the song is really great then, too. Then, of course, the finale. You're driving back onto the track, and that's when you have the splitting paths. Then you have that train come by with everyone on it from other tracks, like the dinosaur from Down and Jungle, and the gorilla, of course, from the DK Spaceport. It's just such a great way to end the Special Cup, and I love what they did with this Rainbow Road. Is it hard? No, not really. It's definitely not that hard of a track. But is that a bad thing? No. No, yeah. Is Rainbow Road supposed to be hard? Yeah. But I don't really care. I mean, the Mario Kart 8 version isn't necessarily that hard either. It's harder than this track, but I don't care. They just did such a great job with this track that I don't care. Between the music and the sections, I can go on and on about how great the Rainbow Road this is. And this track alone makes Special Cup my favorite. Acorn Heights, I mean, it's good. Mario Circuit's alright, and same with Peach Stadium, but man, that Rainbow Road is just so spectacular. I can't. Now if I had to pick a worst track in this cup, I'd probably pick... Ooh, that's tough. There's 2 tracks I'm thinking of, and 2 of them can be interchangeable between Peach Stadium and Mario Circuit. You know what? That's tough. Because there's pros and cons to both the tracks. You know what? I'm going to say both. I can't give a worst, because even if they're my least favorites, they're still good. Favorite, obviously we already know, Rainbow Road. They did such a great job with this Rainbow Road. And overall a good job with this cup as well. So, yeah, that was me ranking all the cups that are currently in Mario Kart World. Yeah, it's, once again, this game is still very controversial, but it also just came out. So this is before any updates or any, like anything that they added to the game. So there could definitely be things that they could add to the game that definitely could spruce up some things. And I think that's something, because I think Mario Kart 8 was also kind of a controversial game in a way. They added all these random clone characters. Battle mode was not even battle mode anymore at this point. It was something completely different. So by the time we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and even a lot of the booster cores, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe felt like a complete, finished, amazing Mario Kart game. And I feel like that's kind of how Mario Kart World will be going too. It's starting off kind of controversial in a way. Like, why is battle mode once again kind of going back to how Mario Kart 8 was? Why is there only 30 tracks? Why are the cups all over the place? What the heck are these freaking intermissions? So, where the heck is our Mii characters? So there's definitely a lot of things that are very controversial about Mario Kart World. But I do think these are things that could easily be fixed. Even the people who are very much defending Mario Kart World, because I do know there's people out there defending Mario Kart World, which, understandable, brand new Mario Kart game, and it's going to be those people who are tired of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I already know it, but you got to look at it this way too. Like, you can tell this game isn't finished. Like try to say that without smiling. Like, you know the game isn't that finished. Like, I know you're trying to defend Mario Kart World. It's brand new Mario Kart. It's finally not Mario Kart 8. Good. Like, I'm happy too. I'm glad we're fighting a brand new Mario Kart. But at the same time, like, look at what they did with Mario Kart 8. Like, look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at the end. Like, that game is phenomenal. The most sold Nintendo game of all time. And don't get me wrong, I love Mario Kart World, but I also love Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So, yeah, for now, once again, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still the better game of the two. But maybe eventually we'll get some updates to Mario Kart World. I also think that's why everyone wants them to do updates so badly, just because of the fact that we've had to wait 11 years for this, and the game almost kind of feels unfinished in a way. It feels like they try to add things, but they didn't add things to the things that they were trying to add, in a way, if you kind of know what I mean. Like, Free Roam, it's good, but I think it can be even better. Knockout Tour, it's good, but I think it can be even better. The character selection is good, but I think it could be even better. The tracks are good, but once again, it could be even better. Battle mode is below good. But I think it could be even better. So, this is one of those games where we definitely have to wait and see what happens in the future with, because for right now, it's good. It's just not one of my favorites. So, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. So, I hope you guys have a great day.